Hello there, everybody. Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Kimberland, and I am an educational advocate, activist, and consultant. I am also an intuitive melanated life coach, as well as a talk show host and a myriad of other things. And this is Minding My Black Ass Business. So, I wanted to come on today and give some updates. I have been flooded with so many messages about where I am, what I'm doing, when I'm gonna drop my next video, like all of these things. So I thought that it would probably be easiest to just make a video and kind of give some updates about what has been going on with me, what I have been doing, and then answer any questions if there are any questions. So tonight I am streaming live on my YouTube page, on my LinkedIn page, on my Facebook pages. And yeah, so let's get into it. First of all, I want to say thank you for all the love and all the support and all of the folks who have been following along with my journey and are seeing the real life manifestation of some of the things that I have spoken into existence. I'm really appreciative for you all, and I don't take your comments or your messages lightly. Many people have reached out to me and just said, thank you. We see you. We see the things that you're doing, and we appreciate it. And that keeps me going. So I really, really, really appreciate that. So I wanted to say that. Updates. Where am I? The last time that I was talking to you all, I was in Mexico City, Mexico. And since then, I have relocated. So my new city, and I believe home for a little bit, is in Medellin, Colombia. So I came down south to South America, to Colombia, and I've been here since the end of December. I actually brought in New Year's here. It was a turn up. If you have been on my Instagram, you've seen like some of the fiestas that were happening in La Calle, some of the parties that were happening in the street. It's a vibe, right? But more so than that, this is a full circle moment for me being here in Medellin. I had an opportunity to visit Medellin in April of 2021. This was when I was in the midst of all of the crises and things that were happening in Pennsylvania. And a very close friend of mine said, "Why don't you take some time away?" My doctor had already been telling me that I needed to take off of work. She was like at the point of being like, "Ma'am, you not going to work tomorrow," like type of thing. So I didn't know where I should go or what I should do. So this friend suggested that I come to Medellin. So I came to Medellin in April of 2021, and I really didn't share it with too many people. Like I wasn't here for the purpose of advertising, that I was here, but more so for the purpose of trying to get some relaxation and rest and rejuvenation. And when I came to Medellin in April of 2021, I met these three Black women that were here. Two of them were my sorority sisters, Deltas, and one was a Zeta. And they were living here at the time. And I remember I met them on a tour. I went on this graffiti tour this one day, and they were on the tour, and they shared with me that they were living here in Medellin. And they basically asked me why I was not. They were like, "Why are you still in the US? Why? Just why?" Right? So after that trip, I was here for a week. And after that trip is when I went back to the United States and I packed up all my stuff. I started selling all my stuff because I knew that I was going to leave. Well, my intention, hey y'all, as y'all are coming in, if you'll please say hey in the comments, so that I know who's here hanging out, just giving some life updates. But when I came here to Medellin, it left me with this feeling of um there's more, and there it was the first time that I was able to just be, and I felt like the energy allowed me to just be, right? But also at that time that I came to Medellin in 2021, I was in crisis. I was in full and complete crisis, so I took the signs for what they were worth, and then I went back to the US and I decided I was going to leave. So I moved to Mexico because at the time there were some protests that were taking place here in Medellin, and the COVID numbers had gone up. And I just didn't feel comfortable coming at the time, while COVID was kind of running rampant. So that is how I wound up in Mexico City. But it has always been my intention to get back here to Medellin because this is the place that everything started. So what I didn't know is whether it would have the same impact on me, right? I kind of was thinking to myself, well, it probably felt so good because you were in crisis, so anything was going to be better than Pennsylvania, right? I am happy to report that Medellin is everything that I needed. It is everything that my spirit needed. It is everything that my body needed, my hair, my skin. Um, it is everything that I thought that Medellin would be, and everything that I experienced the first time that I came. From the moment that I decided I was going to leave Mexico to the time that I got here to Medellin, I am a really big proponent of paying attention to whether things work out, right? So if something is feeling like it's forced and there's no way to, like, you're kind of like going uphill to try to make something happen, I believe that that's a sign that is not supposed to happen. And this was nothing like that. So from the moment I decided that I was going to leave Mexico, everything just fell into place. I found, the places that I wanted to stay. It was easy for me to get my plane ticket. I didn't have to go through the states in order to come here to Medellin, which is something I would usually do, is I would go through the states and then I would come back around. And I was able to not come to through the states, which interestingly enough, at the time that I was leaving was when it was all of that like airline crisis and everybody flights was getting canceled and all that kind of stuff over the holidays, right? So none of that impacted my trip here to Medellin. So that was easy. It was easy getting from the airport to be able to get to the place that I was staying. Like everything fell into place. So it just really let me know that this is the place that God wants me to be right now. But furthermore, hey Gretchen, when I actually got here to Medellin, I wish I could explain to you all and help you to understand like how beautiful it is here. If you have ever seen lush greenery, just large fruits and vegetables, just this place is such a healing place. And there's something here I'm certain that is for me that I'm supposed to get out of this stay here in Medellin. And I think a lot of it has to do with healing. I actually was talking to one of my friends the other day, and we were talking about grief, and we were talking about how, as specifically as Black people and children of the diaspora, we don't really know how to grieve. We don't know what our ancestors did to grieve. We're told that grieving is weakness. We're told that we're supposed to suck it up and keep it pushing and move on to the next thing. And what I've realized over the past year plus of being away from the United States is that there are a lot of things that I needed to grieve about experiences changes that happened while I was there, and a lot of things that I needed to process. The most immediate of which is the situation that happened in Pennsylvania, which ultimately was the straw that broke the camel's back for me to leave and to leave the United States. But before Pennsylvania, there was Tampa, and there was all of the foolishness that happened in Tampa, and harm that was perpetuated against myself, perpetuated against folks in my circle, my business partners, my best friends. So that is something else that I had not really had an opportunity to grieve. In addition to that, one of the things that I have experienced, if I can be transparent for a moment, is a shifting in my circle. Um, I had a conversation with someone who used to be one of my best friends, and this conversation took place a while ago, some months ago, last year, but it's kind of stuck with me. And the conversation was basically like, oh, well, you an influencer now, basically, is was the sentiment of the conversation. And I really didn't know what to do with that. Like, I was just kind of like, I've always been influential, so that's nothing new, right? The only difference is the medium that I'm using in order um to perpetuate that influence. But it kind of had this sense of must be nice, right? Which is something that I hear often from people. Must be nice to be able to just get up and pick up and go here and frolic and like all the things. And what I usually say to that is, yeah, it is. It is nice. It is. It is really nice. But you can do it too, right? So this is not something that is exclusive to me. Like this is something that you're able to do as well. But so many people allow barriers to kind of stand in the way of that. So what I have noticed over the time that I decided to free myself from the US and the US's system is that there are many people who don't understand. They don't understand what I am doing. They don't understand why I'm doing it. They don't understand when I say something like, I don't know how long I'm going to be somewhere. I'll be there until I'm not there anymore, because I've really tapped into this space of honoring my intuition. So, my words for this year, for 2023, are intention and intuition. So everything that I do is with intentionality, and everything that I do is driven and led by my intuition. And I've come to understand that everyone doesn't understand that. There are many things that I do that don't seem to make sense, right? It didn't make sense to people when I decided to sell my house back in 2019. It didn't make sense to people when I said I was going to leave Hillsborough County Public Schools. It didn't make sense to people when I moved to Pennsylvania. It didn't make sense to people when I decided I was going to leave the US and move to Mexico. It didn't make sense to people when I decided that instead of staying in Playa del Carmen, I was going to move to Mexico City. It didn't make sense to people that I decided to pick up and now move to Colombia. But what I have freed myself from is being a hostage to other people's opinions. Because what I know is that everything that I'm doing and the mission that I am on is not my mission. It is not directed by me. It is really a mission that God has laid out before me. So my responsibility is to be obedient to that, right? My responsibility is not to explain to people why I do what I do. So, in that, some friendships have been a casualty of my new life. And I've kind of had to figure out how to deal with that and how to grieve that and how to process that. I'm thankful that as some relationships have sunset, that others have risen. And I have had some amazing people enter my life who are willing to support me, not what I can do for them, not how much access they have to me, but actually just support me and what it is that I want to do and what I want to put out into the world. So, that's been a lot though. It really has been a lot, and I didn't expect it. I thought that these friendships collectively made up about 20 plus years of my life, that these people were in my life and now they have decided that they have wanted to exit my life. And that was rough. Like, that was rough, just to be honest and keep it real. But I have come to the understanding that it was with purpose, and it's not for me to understand. It was time for them to take their off ramp. So I wish them the best, and I hope that they find their own free, frolicking spirit. So, having said that, what is next for me? So, the most pressing thing that y'all keep emailing me about is, when am I going to make the next episode of School Improvement in Pennsylvania, child? So there's still a lot, y'all, that I have to tell about that story. I think I've had 7 episodes so far. So think of this as a mid-season break. But I will be back probably next week to continue on with this story, because there is so much to tell about the injustices and the disservice that is happening in Pennsylvania with the school improvement system. And I unfortunately have to report that they are still up to their foolishness. They do not want me talking about any of it still. They are still trying to launch all types of claims against my videos and all of that, because they know that I am telling the truth about what has happened. What I think is most interesting about it all, honestly, I was reflecting the other day and I was like, you know what's so funny about this is they're not disputing the factual nature of what I'm sharing. They are disputing that they don't want their name in. So they not saying, "Oh, Kimberland lying. That ain't what happened, right?" Because I have receipts for days, right? So, and all of this is public record. So, like, they're not disputing that it didn't happen. They're disputing that they don't want me to talk about it and they don't want their name to be associated with it, which is a very interesting line to take. And I think it's important to pay attention to, especially when you are making your decisions about where you fall in your opinions about everything that happened in Pennsylvania that I've been sharing. The facts are not up for debate. What happened happened, right? So that's interesting. But no, they don't want me to talk about it. They are still trying to get me to be quiet. They are still trying to pull out every stop that they can. But I have every right to share my story. I have every right to share my lived experience. I have every right to let you all know what happens behind the scenes in these systems that are supposed to be advocating for our children. And I am going to continue doing that, right? I'm not going to stop advocating for children, because our children don't have a voice in these spaces and somebody has to have a voice for them. So I'll still be doing it, right? So that is the most pressing thing. So next week I will be back with more episode, or another episode, and then I'll continue after that, and sharing the story of what happened personally to me. But the bigger story is of the cluster foolishness that is taking place in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the school improvement system, because it is an absolute scam, just in case you didn't know. All right. So that is taking place. The other thing that is happening that I'm really, really, really excited about is, some of you all may know that I'm a life coach. And I've recently been thinking about, like, I don't really, that term has become very cliche, right? Being a life coach. And a lot of people have abused it, honestly, and they've used it to abuse other people. So I really have been thinking about how I want to stand out regarding what I actually do with people, the work that I actually do. So I have developed what is called so it's a life coach certification program, and I am in the process of certifying 7 intuitive melanated life coaches. Yeah. Okay, cue the air horns. So I am in the process of certifying some life coaches. They are an amazing group of people. And I'm really excited for the different skill sets that are present. But basically, an intuitive melanated life coach is a person who is willing to trust their spirit, right? All of us have a spirit, the spirit within us that guides us, but many of us have disconnected from our spirit. So we don't know when our spirit is talking to us. We don't know what that should look like or what that should sound like. So that's something that I'm really good at, right? So I told you all, like everything that I do is because God told me to do it. So I'm very in touch with my spirit and how God guides me. Like I'm very clear when God is speaking to me. I'm very clear on the signs that I get that let me know that I'm going in the right direction, and I want to teach other people how to do that. And so that is why I have developed this life coach certification program. So I am excited that I will be educating this coalition of melanated life coaches who are going to be able to impact the world in a way that I alone cannot. They are in many different industries. So some are in tech spaces, some are in education, some are in financial arenas, right? It's like all of these arenas that people are going to be able to support those of us who have experienced some type of racial trauma and really help people tap into their intuition so that they're able to pursue purpose and follow the things that bring them joy. And that is my goal for everybody. Like, I really feel like we deserve to be able to live in a space where we can have joy and we are pursuing purpose. And when you're pursuing purpose, it doesn't feel like work, it feels meaningful and it feels bigger than you. So, I am proud to say that I have developed that because it is really going to change my little slice of the world, and then I will also be able to empower other people to change their slice of the world. So I have been working on that. I also have been working on my frolicking, y'all. So a big part of frolicking, people are always like, what does that mean? Right? They meet me even here. People be like, so what do you do? And I'm like, I frolic. And they're like, so yeah, but like, what do you do? And I'm like, I frolic. Didn't I just say that? But basically, frolicking is I pursue things that bring me joy, right? I tap into my body. I ask myself what my spirit needs that day. If my spirit needs to walk, does my spirit need to go to the mall? Does my spirit need to just stand outside in the sunshine? Like, what does that look like? And then I go from there and I allow my spirit to kind of guide me through different experiences with people. And I meet different people and I talk to different people. One thing I can say that I'm super proud of, y'all, which is something else that I'm working on, is mi español. Okay. Yo hablo español. I be speaking in Spanish, y'all. And I'm so proud of myself because I'm not fluent by any means at all. I think one of the things that I'll do here in Colombia is actually go to school, like go to school, not do virtual, but like actually go to school and do like different experiences so that I can become more confident, specifically in my conversational Spanish. But let me tell you something, mi español es muy mejor que when I first arrived. Okay. I remember when I first got to Mexico and I landed in Playa del Carmen. So some people spoke English, right? But I remember specifically when I left Playa del Carmen to come to go to Mexico City, like I didn't hardly know anything. Like I was just like, see, gracias. Like, it was so, I was so, not just that I didn't know, but I was so unconfident. Like I just didn't trust that I knew the words. And after living in Mexico for a year and being able to negotiate an apartment and like all of that kind of stuff, my Spanish and my confidence in my Spanish has become so much better. So that is something else that I am working on for this year is improving my Spanish because I want to be able to have conversations with people even more, right? Right now, I kind of have conversations like a child, which is okay because I'm just learning this language. But I want to be able to have more sophisticated conversations. I want to be able to listen and respond much more easily than I can now. So usually now when people talk to me, like I have a line. So this is what I usually say when I meet people. I'm like, hola, me llamo es Kimberland. Mi español no es muy bueno. Yo necesito hablas muy despacio y suave para mí. So basically, I say, hello, my name is Kimberland. My Spanish is not very good. I need you to speak slowly and smoothly for me. And usually that works. Right? Usually people are like, oh, okay. Because something that I've learned, and it's funny being an educator, is that I thought I was doing a really good job with supporting my English language learners. I wasn't. It requires so much energy and time to be able to understand what someone is saying in a foreign language, translate that into your own language, develop a response, then translate that back into the target language, and then actually say it, right? It's a really, really long process. So that has also taught me how to be more patient and a better educator and a better educator to educators who are educating people who may not know English as their first language. So that's been helpful, right? And I want to use myself, if you will, as a case study of the fact that it is possible to learn a new language. It is at this age, right? I'm over 40. I'm going to be 42 this year. 42, y'all. 42 this year. Okay. But yeah, so at 42, like it is possible to learn a new language and actually be successful at that. So that is something else that I am working on. The last thing that I'm working on is tapping back into the things that bring me joy, such as my art. I don't know how many of you all know this, but I actually paint from time to time, and I want to do that more. My paintings are abstract paintings. They actually are in New York right now on display in someone's Airbnb home, right? So they're up for purchase. But yeah, I want to get back into my art and I want to give myself an opportunity to creatively express the things that are inside of me and creatively express what I'm feeling while I'm here. My energy has been so different. Like I wake up here and I'm just in total peace. And I just feel so grounded, right? I think people here are very connected to nature and really honor and appreciate and respect nature. And I can feel that in the way that they live and interact. So that is something that I've been wanting to do more of. So that's like right up my alley. And I want to see how that manifests in my art. So I will start painting again. And I'm going to be looking for some dance classes, honey, because I got to learn the salsa, y bachata, y merengue. Like, I need to learn how to get out here on this dance floor, okay? Because I be missing out. Like, I be so sad. So yeah, it's some amazing stuff that I have planned here that I really want to be able to execute. So having said all of that, I didn't want to be here long. I just wanted y'all to kind of get an update because baby, these DMs are out of control. Okay. Y'all like, Kimberly, where you at? What you doing? Like, what's going on? Right. It's been a lot. So I just wanted to kind of take a moment to batch all of that up and do a general update about everything that is happening. So if you are already not connected to me over on YouTube or over on Instagram, make sure that you go over to my pages. Minding My Black Ass Business is the name of the page. It is Minding My Black Ass Business on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook, except Facebook is with two Z's instead of two S's. So if you have not already connected to me, please do get connected to me there. If you are wanting the exclusive, if you are wanting the exclusive information, if you are wanting to see unedited videos, specifically on the information that I've been sharing in Pennsylvania, you can join my Patreon. So my Patreon is also Minding My Black Ass Business, and it's only $5 a month for you to support this work that I am doing to dismantle systemic racism in educational spaces, specifically in school improvement. So I would really appreciate that support if you are feeling called and led in your spirit to go over and do that. Also, if you are just looking to be a walking billboard, right? Maybe you are thinking to yourself, I kind of feel that. And this Minding My Black Ass Business, that's a vibe. Well, you can go to mindingmybblackassbusiness.com and get you some merch, honey, because I have shirts, I have sweatshirts, I have mouse pads, I have notebooks, I have mugs and stickers, right? So all of that is over on mindingmybblackassbusiness.com. I also have a line called Black and Free. So if you feel in Black and Free, you can also tap into that. And I will be releasing the Professional Frolicker line for my birthday, and that will be taking place next month. So all of that is support, and I really appreciate it from the bottom of my corazon. Okay. My heart. So I am gonna run. It is late. I need to kind of start settling down for tomorrow's adventures. But again, I just wanted to kind of give you an update, let you know what's going on, and to also let you know to make sure that you are connected because I'm back, y'all. I am back. Break is over. Okay. So be looking out for all the things that are going to be happening. All right. So on that note, I holla. Bye.